So I'm Frank Golbeck. I grew up in Southern California, and we make mead, which is an alcohol made from honey. We take honey, mix it with spring water, and ferment that mix. You get the oldest alcohol in the world. And when you're drinking it, you're connecting with ancient human history. You're connecting with the place that the honey came from. You're connecting with the sense of craftsmanship and experimentation that isn't really available anywhere else. And lastly, when people share it together, they have a party. So I did undergrad at UC Berkeley. My grandfather was an apple grower. He made mead. And one summer I came home from college and helped him clean out the attic. And there was one bottle of his mead left in the attic. And he gave it to me. And that was the first time that I'd ever had the chance to try mead, though I'd read about it in Beowulf and in Shakespeare and in Tolkien. And I was like, I have to try this stuff because I had memories of my grandpa pouring it for people and them just laughing. So when I opened this bottle, I had all these expectations, and I shared it with my best friend and my girlfriend at the time. And we tasted it, and it was like sunshine and flowers in the glass. My best friend and I are in the Navy, and we're working 12, 16 hours a day after undergrad, 7 days a week, just like nose to the grindstone, so gnarly that we can't imagine doing anything else. And one day my wife comes up to me, laying on the floor, looks down at me and says, "Frank, you're not happy." And I look up at her and I say, "I'm not?" She says, "No, what if you had all the time, money, and energy in the world? What would you do? I don't think you'd be doing this. I think you'd be doing something else." And sitting with that question, the only answer I could really get behind was make mead and share it with people. So we've gone through a lot of iterations on how we make our mead, but today we're doing it in these 1,000-gallon tanks. It spends about 5 weeks in here going through primary fermentation. Then we transfer it into this big tank, our bright tank, which is where it naturally carbonates. And then we bottle right off of it with a little bottler we built ourselves. It's really kind of a balance between homespun and industrial operations, but with a lot of help from a lot of people, we've been able to figure it out. So we've been involved in mead making for 10 years and have tried hundreds, maybe thousands of meads at this point. And the ones that we love the most, that really get us excited, are the simplest ones. The ones that are honey, water, yeast. Any sweetener that is present in the mead is from the original fermentation, not back sweetened. Then we don't add sulfites. We don't add sorbate to preserve it. We don't filter it. We only cold crash it to make it as clear as we can, but there's still gonna be sediment in our bottle. And that's just part of the natural fermentation process. So it's a more difficult way to produce, but we think it makes the best style of mead. There is a trade-off between how fast we can produce it, but how good it is. We could pump out product 2.5 weeks if we were doing what everyone else does with filtration and with preservatives, but we skip that, and as a result, it takes us 6 to 8 weeks, 4 times longer. And ultimately, we want to have a mead company that can introduce the world to mead, but we don't want to compromise our authenticity and our love of the process in order to attain that. Hey, I'm Frank Golbeck. Welcome to Golden Coast Mead. We're in Oceanside, California, and this is where we make and share the magic of quality mead. So a lot of people are aware of the problems facing our bee populations in North America, that we're having this colony collapse disorder where 50 to 70% of commercial beekeepers' hives are dying every year. This is significant risk to our whole food system. If we don't have bees pollinating our fruit and nuts and a lot of our vegetable crops, we're just gonna have like dairy and grain left over and a very bland, boring diet. The food system that we know could stop working if the bees continue to die off at the rates that they are. And that's because of this thing called colony collapse disorder. It seems to be a combination of 5 important things, but understanding and solving that problem is critical to Golden Coast Mead's success, but also our current food system's success. And we're contributing 1% of our gross revenues through 1% for the planet to research about colony collapse disorder and how to solve it. So we want our customers to know that if they want to help the bees, they should drink our mead and share it with friends so that they feel like they're contributing to the solution to the systemic problem.